Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 Paws and Claws run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Dwarf, which I know is a character that a lot of people dislike, but I personally really enjoy the puzzle of trying to trigger the Dwarf's passive as much as possible to gain free stats, and I love how strong you get when you manage to do that. I'm just going to random my weapon here. I'm okay starting with any of the 4 weapons, and we'll just kind of see what the game gives us. We've got maces, which are always going to be a fun time with this character. Of course, the damage on mace scales with your negative attack speed, which this character starts with minus 50%, so it's very synergistic for the character. We want to stack up groups of enemies here so that we can trigger our passive by hitting 6 enemies in a single swing. And there we go. We managed actually to do that basically perfectly this wave, getting 3 passive triggers and getting the full 56 materials on wave 1 is honestly not that easy to do. We just happened to have the attacks line up perfectly, and so this is off to a great start. I'm going to reroll here and reroll again. I'm looking for harvesting, so I'll spend up to 6 materials looking for harvesting. We missed every time, but I'll take 2 regeneration. Since this character wants to be building stacks of its passive, you're going to be taking a lot of damage as you kind of stack enemies on top of each other. So regeneration and HP armor are all really important stats. Mace has the heavy and medieval weapon tags, so it's going to give us a little bit of dodge, but because we have negative 20 dodge, we're not going to be buying dodge on this character, so Peaceful Bee, not usually something that we want here. I'm going to decide whether I want to stick with just maces, or if I want to buy other weapons. And do I want to ban Dynamite or Peaceful Bee? I guess I will ban the Peaceful Bee. 20 for 4 harvesting is an okay rate, but it costs us a melee damage, and the dodge is basically useless on this character, so we'll just take that out. Dynamite I'm going to leave in the pool. There's some versions of this character that end up buying explosive weapons. Jelly, I think I'm going to stick with mostly maces, so I'm just going to ban the Jelly, and we'll buy Scar, and then reroll here. I could take Screwdriver, I could take Brick. If it breaks, it gets us some money, but I think I'm just going to wait and buy a level 2 mace later, buy maces more when they show up, or other cool level 2 weapons. We'll maybe go for Vorpal swords, or just any of the neat level 2+ melee weapons. Warhammer could be a really fun choice for this character as well. So I'm just going to spend my money early on. We'll buy a cake here, unlock a propeller hat. Playing with 1 weapon is fine for the Dwarf for the first few waves anyways, because, of course, you want to time your swings so that you get more triggers of your passive. So you can see here we were able to do that and get 2 passive triggers there. Stacking up enemies by moving in spirals. I did mess up my movement a bit there and lose out on a passive trigger. But we were able to kill the tree and still get 4, I think, that wave. So we're up to 7 engineering already. Then I'm going to reroll and take 5 harvesting. Cute Monkey is a good way to heal, but let's actually save our money because I want to be able to buy another mace when it shows up, so I need to save some money. Actually, I should buy the propeller hat. Having higher luck means that level 2 weapons are more likely to appear in the next couple shops, so we're more likely to be able to buy maces. Or just other cool level 2 weapons. I'm not going to stick strictly to maces only. We'll just buy anything cool that shows up. Getting some really good triggers on our passive. Now, we're making a little less money than most other characters would, of course. But basically, every time we trigger our passive, it's like getting a whole level 1 item for free. We get an engineering and half a melee damage every time we trigger it, so it's like book plus half a melee damage. So really, really powerful every time you trigger your passive. I'm going to reroll here. Range is actually not ridiculous on this character. The more range you have, the more enemies you can hit with a single swing. But of course, we're going to take harvesting over it. And then we'll roll again. I do want more movement speed. It makes it much easier to loop and get enemies to stack on top of each other. So buying the level 2 move speed upgrade there is very helpful. We did find another mace. That's still pretty lucky, but definitely part of it was that we bought the luck earlier. So I don't think you're super likely to find a wave 3 mace like that. But the decisions that we made did, of course, affect that. Wow. I really messed up my attacks there and did not get almost any passive triggers from that big group of enemies. Just timed it so that each of our weapons killed 4 enemies with every swing. As soon as you have a second weapon, of course, it becomes much harder to trigger your passive reliably, because you're going to split damage between the two. Here, I'm going to reroll looking for harvesting. Roll one more time, and once more. If I had found 8 harvesting, it would have gotten us to 20, which of course is really good, but we'll just take 3 regeneration here, and then we'll take 5 more harvesting. Even though Mace scales its damage with our negative attack speed, buying attack speed on this character isn't totally ridiculous. You can definitely still buy attack speed on the Dwarf, even at half value. But I think we're going to pass on the coffee here, and we'll reroll. I do want to find more weapons. I'm going to ban the charcoal. You almost never want to buy melee damage on this character. You just get it for free. And then I'll keep rolling. I'll take a loot worm. That's a fun one to have. I'll leave boxing glove in the pool. We're probably not going to build that much melee damage, but this character, I think we're mostly going to focus on doing fun, cool things. So I'm going to leave boxing glove in case we end up with like a coil setup, because that could be fun as well. Yeah, should get 2 triggers of our passive there because I lined up the attacks correctly. We should get another one there. These groups of enemies on wave 5 spawn in groups of 6, so the little baby aliens. So we can get passive triggered just by killing one of these groups of enemies with one swing. We're guaranteed to get it. So obviously very powerful to be able to do that. Definitely want to kill these trees if possible. I would love a pocket factory. Do we have the attack speed to get the next one? We don't, but we got enough passive triggers there. We'll take 5 harvesting. I could buy the bean teacher. That does mean I'm going to need to, and I will. This does mean I'm going to need to buy another weapon next wave, and we'll have to buy kind of whatever shows up, because playing with only 2 weapons past wave 6 is going to be pretty bad. So we'll just look for anything that we can use after the next wave. And even if it's not super synergistic with our plan or anything, we just need to fill out our weapon slots at this point, and we can later on sell whatever stopgap weapons we end up with for cool stuff that shows up in the shop. But the advantage, of course, of having only 2 weapons is we're going to get a lot of triggers on our passive, so we'll at least make very good stat income, even if our material income is a little bit lower than it would be for another character. Bag, of course, always a great find. Yeah, I'll take 8 more harvesting here. We're getting to the point where I need to stop buying economy and start buying offense and defense. Well, defense, because this character generates offense on its own. But 8 harvesting on this wave, even twice over, is still worth it. So do I want the Thief Dagger? I'll buy the Loot Worm. I think I will buy the Thief Dagger here. It's really not the sort of weapon that we're looking for, but we really do just need to buy like a couple weapons. Okay, so this sword is exactly what we're looking for. I'll take the spear, and I'm going to ban Feather and Goat Skull. I want 4 weapons this wave. It doesn't really matter what they are, but having 4 weapons is pretty important. Baby Elephant, we're never going to build around. Piggy Bank, I don't really want. Do I want the Jousting Lance? I think not. I'll just throw in another reroll here. And then I could upgrade our Thief Dagger. I could buy a level 2 spear, but I think these are just weapons that we're going to end up selling. So I'll just save the sword for next wave, and hopefully we make enough money to buy it. We're not going to trigger our passive very much this wave because we now have 4 weapons, and they have different ranges, different attack speeds, and everything. So we're going to end up using our attacks when we don't want to a lot. Try to kill that. Okay, we got 1. That's actually more than I was expecting to. Try to kill the walrus there before the healers can heal it. It is nice that the Loot Worm goes and kills the trees for us, because with this character's really low attack speed, killing trees is actually sometimes a challenge, since you'll end up just not having your attacks off cooldown when you reach the tree. Yeah, we'll definitely take a penguin. We need more regeneration. We'll take corrupted shard. Here, I'm going to reroll looking for armor. And I'll keep doing that. 3 armor, so important for keeping us alive. And then we'll roll again and take 2 more armor. I really want the maximum health, but going up to 7 armor just makes us so much more survivable. I'll take a brick. We might end up breaking it, but I think that that's fine. We'll lock Cyclops Worm. I could buy the spear here. Going up to a level 2 spear means that it will trigger our passive more frequently, so let's do that, and then we'll reroll. I'll take a landmines. That's going to steal some kills from our passive, but is still a good item to use our engineering. And Finn, I do want more movement speed. Lifesteal, not that important, but I think given how poor our move speed is, buying the Finn is going to be pretty helpful. So the reason I upgraded the spear here is that it's going to make it so that the spear will one-shot most enemies. And we can maybe get triggers of our passive using it. I really need a good shorthand for the dwarf passive, for triggering the dwarf passive, like a one-word verb for killing 6 enemies in one swing. So, taking applications in the comments below, what would you call it? Like mining or something. There you saw we didn't get any passive triggers, but that's okay. We'll take some % damage. When it shows up for cheap like this, do I want to buy melee damage? I think I'm still just going to ban the hedgehog. Our regeneration is so important, I don't want to reduce it at all. I'm going to roll here, take 2 armor. I'll buy these 2 items. Poisonous tonic, I'm not super interested in. Quarterstaff, I could buy, but also I don't think I'm that interested in the quarterstaff. I'll re-roll here. We have 6 regeneration. I do need more max HP, but with only 6 regen, Weird Ghost is a little risky. I think we can get away with it, though, and then we, again, don't want to buy engineering. I'll buy defective steroids, because it does give us max HP, and we'll take mushroom for the regeneration, and then I'm going to roll here. I'm just looking for fun weapons that we can buy. Okay, so the cursed hatter is pretty scary, given that this is a Weird Ghost wave, so I'm at low HP to start with. Normally, I would just run at the Hatter and try to kill it right away, but with Weird Ghost and with it cursed, it's going to take a lot longer to take it down. We did manage to get it, though. And it even dropped materials, which I think I'm like, 0 in a million tries for a cursed Hatter dropping materials. Still one of my my major gripes with this game, by the way, is that powerful enemies like that normally drop a lot of materials still suffer from the % chance to drop nothing that enemies get as the wave number increases. So putting a ton of effort into killing a cursed hatcher, you can still just get no materials out of it. Feels really bad. Here, I'm going to reroll, and yeah, we'll take 20 luck. I'll take 6 maximum health. We definitely need more of that, and then 3 more armor. Lightning Shiv, is that a cool enough weapon to count as a cool weapon here? I think not. We're not really building elemental damage. I will take more engineering stuff, and we'll roll here. A sword, I think, does count. It fits our theme as well. The Thief Dagger has actually given me 10 materials, which is kind of fun. But let's just go ahead and sell it now. We'll buy the sword, we'll buy the bag. Slowing enemy movement speed could help us stack enemies a lot, but I think we're going to pass on that. I will take the corrupted shard. I'm not going to upgrade our spear. We're definitely going to be looking for other items than that, but we'll take a spicy sauce because my max HP is really low. I'm hoping for like Vorpal Sword, Warhammer, Power Fist, just fun items like that. Although Power Fist in particular is actually really bad for the Dwarf, because the explosion doesn't count as part of the same melee swing, so it will never trigger your passive. Same with Plank. and other explosive melee weapons. The great thing here is now there's enough enemies on the field in these later waves that we just trigger our passive every time we run into a big group of enemies. We usually get at least 6 kills in one swing, and because I've built up enough damage from that passive, our weapons hit so hard that it's really easy for them to one-shot things and get more triggers. So we're just getting so many stats every wave. In this run, we've got a lot of harvesting, so we're actually even making approximately the same amount of money that a normal character would make. A lot of the time with the Dwarf, you end up with lower material income, but because you're getting so many free stats, you're still ahead in economy from a normal character. In this run, we're getting free stats and just making the same amount of money as a normal character, so we're doing really well. Here, I think I actually will take 45 range. Normally, I do not upgrade range in this game, because it's usually a wasted stat. On the Dwarf in particular, it can be good because it means that your weapons are more likely to kill multiple enemies with one swing. We'll buy all of these items, and then I'll roll. Don't really need these. I guess I'll just ban out the book here, because buying 1 engineering when we're getting tons for free every wave is not where you want to be. Padding will help increase our max HP. I'll buy the landmines, and I guess I'll lock a sword as well. Go to the next wave. Swords are fun just because they're a weapon you don't see used that often, so I'm happy to build those. I would love increased enemy spawns. A mouse or gentle alien would be great. Black flag would be probably the best thing we could find. Those would all help us get more enemy kills at once. In the later stages of the game, you're going to stop triggering your passive as much because you'll have other ways to kill enemies, things like all the engineering items that we've built, and your weapons will just all be one-shotting everything anyways. So when you have 6 of them, it's going to be harder for one of them to kill 6 things at once. But you'll still get the occasional stat boost, and we've gotten so many free stats already that it doesn't matter. If we never triggered our passive again for the rest of the game, we would still be way ahead of where a normal character is because we've gotten so many points of engineering and melee damage from it. When it shows up cheaply in a box like this, we'll take 2 engineering, and then we'll take 3 regen. Our brick broke last wave as well, but we'll buy a sword to replace it, take a padding here. Don't want a weird ghost going into an elite wave. Do I want the acid? We have 50 HP. I do need more maximum health, so I think I will buy it. It's a fairly inefficient way to buy max HP, but I think it's fine. I don't need the handcuffs. I could buy a brick here. We could combine 2 of our weapons and buy a level 3 brick. I think that'll help us kill the elite faster. I could also sell out of the spear. Let's actually do that. It's doing the least damage of our weapons per swing. I guess our swords were on par with it, but it's not much damage. And it's causing primitive weapons to appear in the shop when I would rather other things. Cake I definitely want. We still need more maximum health. And let's see if we can kill the boss here. So this elite, we should be able to kill, I think. Although attack speed is what usually governs how quickly you kill elites, for most characters, on the Dwarf, your damage should be high enough that you can kill it even with low attack speed. So we'll wait for this thing to do its attack pattern, then we'll back off, heal back up, go in for another round of swings, loop around it in circles, take some hits here, trigger the attack pattern, take another couple hits. I did get a 4 lamprey spawn, so that made things a little scarier, and we do have pretty poor defenses right now, or pretty poor regeneration. I decided to just face tank it and finish it off, because I knew it wouldn't kill me even if I took all those hits, and it was starting to take a little too long to kill it, so I just ran at it and finished it off, got the full heal from the red crate, and we made it through. Seashell tragically does nothing for this character because it doesn't work on turrets or pets, so it only works on ranged weapons, which this character cannot equip. Actually, Seashell should definitely be restricted for the Dwarf. Yeah, so some characters have restricted items that don't show up for those characters. Seashell should definitely be a restricted item for the dwarf. There's no way that should show up for this character, since you literally can never use it, since you can't equip ranged weapons, and it doesn't work with turrets or pets. Side note, Seashell should work with turrets or pets. It's kind of stupid that it doesn't. It's a level 4 item. It should work with everything. It should be the most fun version of the item. But in the current iteration of the game, it should definitely be restricted. I do want a little more movement speed, so I'll take that. We'll take the cake here. We'll reroll. I've only got 28 luck, but I think we can buy a pearl, and we'll still be pretty happy about that. Capping my move speed at 21 doesn't matter, and like I said, range is actually pretty good for this character, and 8 regeneration and 8 engineering are both pretty nice, so we'll take the shackles, but I guess I can buy the fin first. It does reduce my luck, but buying the fin first means that we'll cap our speed at 31, which is way more than enough. We'll lock a cake here and leave the shackles locked and go to the next wave. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about that, I'm kind of annoyed that we got a seashell, that was possible to completely waste our red box like that. The restricted item system is exactly to avoid feel bad moments like that, where you get an item that's literally useless for the character. There are some items that are very narrow that show up for certain characters, like, you know, damage items for Pacifist is a classic example, because, yeah, Pacifist mostly doesn't want to build damage items, but damage Pacifist is a fun and viable way to build the character. And having those available can lead to neat moments. But Seashell is literally unusable for characters that can't find ranged weapons, so should definitely not appear for the Dwarf or the Gladiator. Losing 2 move speed for 2 regen is fine. My regeneration, as you can see, is very bad, so I need to fix that. Let's reroll here, and I could take 15 luck. We do have a pearl, so it's a little bit of percent damage as well. I think I'm going to roll for regeneration or armor, though. That matters the most to us right now. 4 regen really helps fix this character's, and then we'll get 8 more from the shackles. Really helps fix this character's healing problems. I have 0 consumable healing at the moment, so we're not taking Alien Worm. I'll roll here. I'll definitely take Bottom Mine. So this is one of the great new things that the Dwarf has access to. We can now use all of the engineering that we've built up much more easily because this item exists. Used to be that you would need to get, like, mostly Pocket Factory was the easiest way to get a lot of value out of all the engineering, but Bottom Mine is good enough when you have high engineering that it single-handedly makes it so much easier to use all the free stats that you're getting on this character. Especially nice against this elite, because we can just stand motionless next to it and the bot just constantly shoots it. Also because the Dwarf has negative attack speed, but pets don't scale with attack speed, so they don't care at all about our negative attack speed, and do scale with the stats that we're getting for free. So they benefit a lot from the Dwarf's passive. Kind of a fun addition to an already cool character. We have kind of given up on getting passive triggers this run at this point because if I had found more increased enemy spawns, that wouldn't be the case, but as is, it is. Because we've just got too many other ways to kill enemies than our weapons, so we're not hitting with our passive as much. Lucky Coin, -2 armor is bad. We have no crit chance, and we're not that likely to build crit chance. I'll take the Sharp Bullet. It works with our Bottom Mine. It's only -5% damage. And I'll reroll here, reroll again, and we'll take 4 armor and 12% damage. Flaming Brass Knuckles, I don't think that counts as cool enough to buy here. Let's reroll. Vorpal Sword definitely does. So let's combine our swords and buy a Vorpal Sword. And we'll lock another Pearl. Do I need a Garden? I think our healing is good enough without the Garden, so I'll pass on that, do a couple rerolls, just looking for more cool weapons. But for 30, I'm not going to reroll when I already have something locked. So yeah, the big complaint of this run is that we didn't find... we didn't find any increased enemy spawns, which is making our passive trigger less frequently, but everything else this run has been going just perfectly, so can't complain about that. Nice, we got the one-shot from the Vorpal Sword. I do love the sound effect of the one-shot. I think they did a really good job with the sounds in all of these new updates. Decomposing Flesh. Lifesteal is okay with our bottom line, and I don't really need more max HP, so I guess I'll take it. It can be fine. It's not amazing, but it's okay. We'll take the Pearl here. Fertilizer, I'm gonna buy... No, I don't think we need the fertilizer. We'll hit level 25 without it. Do I want to upgrade our brick? Yeah, we can upgrade the brick, and then when it breaks, we get 120 materials back. Strange Book, we don't have any elemental damage to use, so it doesn't really help us that much. Do I want a Cursed Brick? We do get more materials when it breaks, so sure. Let's go ahead and combine some of our weapons here. We'll buy a brick and a sword and landmines, and I don't have enough to reroll, but that's okay. So if we do get both bricks breaking this wave, which is always a difficult thing to say, it's funny which tongue twisters show up in Brotato. But if both bricks break this wave, then we will have to replace our weapons, and that could be a concern. But even with just 4 weapons, we should still be fine. And we can obviously make money off of them breaking as well. One thing that's nice about the bricks is that they cost materials, just materials, and they drop actual materials, which also give you XP. So not only do you get the money back, you also get more XP, because you kind of double up on the experience for the materials that you spent on the brick, because you got the XP the first time you picked them up, then you spent just the money portion on the brick, and then you get the XP again. So you do get some additional benefits by kind of turning those into investments. Yeah, I'll take the saltwater. It pulls a unique out of the pool. 3% attack speed is obviously not important for this character that buys attack speed at half rate, but the extra move speed could be helpful. I don't believe it takes you over speed cap. This is one I've never been sure of, is whether saltwater goes over speed cap. Somebody let me know in the comments. Take the Cursed Warrior helmet for sure. I guess I'll lock a sword here. We'll buy an incendiary turret. I'll take a Cyclops worm, and then I'll do a reroll. Clockwork Wasp, obviously great with all of our structures, so we're very happy to pick that up as well. I'm kind of hoping... Well, I was hoping that one of our bricks broke, and it did. I would have preferred it didn't do it on the first swing, but I was hoping that one broke so we could just buy the sword and not have to sell anything. Come on, Vorpal Sword. You can one-shot an elite here. Do your job. And you can see that it does still take us a long time to kill elites, even though our damage is really high, because this character, of course, has super low attack speed, which is the determining factor for how fast you kill elites, even on a super high damage character like this one. It's a little easier on the Dwarf thanks to your really high stats, but still took a while to take it down, even though we're killing everything else super quickly. I think we should be able to get the Curse Alien before the end of the wave, and we did. I'll take the Plastic Explosive. We have some explosions, and Blood Leech is great healing. We'll definitely take the Anvil. That does... I wish we'd gotten the Anvil on wave 11 and not the Seashell. Take 12% damage here, and then 20 luck is also 4% damage for us, because we have 2 pearls. Or I could roll for armor or something. Let's just take the 20 luck. We'll replace our empty weapon slot by these two and roll. There's a gentle alien that we definitely want, and I guess I'll take bag over tree. Small fish is also good on this character because we intend to be one-shotting things a lot. And the 10% damage per swing against full health enemies represents much more damage since our weapons hit so hard individually. Now, what I'm really looking for is still Pocket Factory. Obviously, a cool legendary weapon I would also be very happy with. Weirdly, most of the cool legendary weapons are ranged. There's, like, Scythe and Excalibur and Destroyer for melee ones. Maybe one or two others that I'm forgetting. But, the ones that would go really well with the Dwarf are all ranged. Gatling Laser would go really hard on this character, but isn't available. Losing more attack speed, it powers up our one mace, and we get 3 melee damage, so I guess I'll take the toolbox. It's not amazing here, but it's fine. We'll buy these 3 items. We'll take our reroll. We'll definitely lock a Vorpal Sword. I'll buy a Shady Potion. Do I need more max HP? Not really, so I'll pass on the defective steroids. Okay, nice. Getting double Gentle Alien, obviously it's pretty late for that, but it powers up our percent damage, and we'll get a couple more passive triggers, and we're going to be able to use our 12 lifesteal and our decent luck plus double weird food to give us actually a lot more healing thanks to those. So we'll see if the cursed brick ends up breaking here. If it doesn't, it probably will on the first swing next wave when we're trying to fight the bosses. But that's okay. Obviously, with really low attack speed, like on this character, you're always going to have really low attack speed. You're going to take a lot of damage, which is why it's so important that we've built so much armor, so much regeneration and everything. Because we need to be able to survive the damage that we're taking. Okay, nice. We got another pearl that's 6% damage. It's not a free one, but it's still fine. So I lose 1 melee damage here and 2 engineering, obviously, but the 6% damage I think actually matters more than that. Our base damage is really high. Let's reroll this and reroll this. I guess I'll just take 7 crit chance. It's not amazing, but it's still a pretty big damage increase, and then we'll take 12% more damage. We will buy a Vorpal Sword. So we did actually, the anvil went on our Vorpal Sword at some point, and it went on our cursed brick. Unfortunate, because that might break, but I guess that is a reason to maybe have sold this, because the anvil trigger could go on it. But here I'll just sell the level 2 sword. We'll buy a Vorpal Sword that can help us kill the bosses faster. We'll roll again. Cursed Coil, we have heavily negative knockback, but this will bring us to positive knockback because we have -5. So we would gain 8% damage from this. I don't think that's really worth it. 8% damage for 222 is pretty expensive. And yeah, being able to upgrade our sword, I think, is just better overall. And then we'll roll here, and we've ended up with a pretty fun weapon set in the end. Let's go kill some bosses, and hopefully we one-shot them, because that would just be funny. With double Vorpal Sword, and one of them's level 4, one-shotting the bosses is definitely on the table. So far, no luck. Obviously, with low attack speed, we get fewer chances. But we were able to kill... Oh, sure. We one-shot that thing. Whatever that was, we one-shot, but the bosses are just happily ignoring our Snicker Snack. There we go. beheaded Walian and ended the run in style. So taking a look at our items here, curious about our weapons. It doesn't count the one-shot damage in the Vorpal Sword calculation. I think it should, by the way. But it does say 8 one-shots and 0 on the level 3 Vorpal Sword. We dealt, about 10k damage with each of our weapons, somewhere around there. Looking at our items, 200 healing from the Cute Monkey, obviously amazing. Any healing is so important on this character. The early Bean Teacher was awesome, got us to level 27. 700 materials from bags, which is pretty good. 130 from loot worm. That's about right for an early-ish loot worm. I find that this typically does like 100 to 150 on Abyssal Terrors, a little more on Crash Zone, and so this is right in the normal range. But mostly it's useful because it stops you having to run after trees. 55,000 damage from landmines and 50,000 from our laser turret. Spicy Sauce didn't do anything. 40k damage from Incendiary Turret, 56,000 from our bottom mine, and it also made 100 landmines, which is kind of awesome. And anything else that we got that's really exciting? Not in particular anything worth checking. 18 damage from the pearls, so they ended up pretty good. Alright, so that was the Dwarf. I really enjoy playing that character. I think it's so much fun, the different directions that you can end up with. We ended up gaining 84 engineering triggers, and that's kind of on the low side, but we still had a huge amount of additional engineering and melee damage. As always, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this run, and if you have, then feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.